Hello, this is Husky Huddle. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and with me, as always, Coach Schuman.
The late
Coach
great,
Schuman, it's great to see you.
the
Great
late
to
great
see
Coach.
you. Yeah, it's terrible. Weekends are hard for me because I don't get to see you. So it's all. I always look forward to Mondays because I know Mondays are the days I get to see you the most, and it's so rewarding to be able to spend time with you. I mean, is that's not too homosexual for another man to have feelings like that, right?
No, as long as we're in a different room, it's good.
Yeah. As long as we're in a different room. So, how about this?
I'd be nervous because you're bigger than me. So.
Yeah, I know. How about this? There's actually some UConn news. There was a notebook. Yes, there was a notebook report from Saturday's practice, which was the 13th practice of the spring. There's only two more left. It was scrimmage situations. And I don't want to get yelled at if Al Bundy's on or Chris D's on that I'm reading the report. Chris D, there's Chris D. Golly, Chris D, if I ever get a chance to meet you, you can kick me in the balls as hard as you want. I promise you. I have one supporter out there, actually two, Chris D and Al Bundy. Al Bundy last week was threatening to call Jared. He said, I'm going to call Jared. And he went to high school with Kevin Freeman. And Chris D just tells it like it is on all our podcasts, whether it's Rebel Republic or what. He tells it like it is. But there was a report out, and it's pretty accurate. Joe Figliano has the inside track on the starting job right now, even with reports that the Huskies are looking at former Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada.
Jaden Rashada? They're looking at?
Yeah. Who just left. Yeah. Why is that so surprising? Is that someone we wouldn't have the ability to get?
Want me to tell you the story of Jaden Rashada?
Right.
You know the story?
No, I don't know the story.
Jaden Rashada was originally supposed to go to, I believe, Miami. Then Jaden Rashada got offered apparently $10 million to go to Florida. Florida reneged.
$10 million? $10 million?
You should look this whole thing up. So then
it's just going to anger me.
Well, okay, so you got to listen to the story. Okay. So then Jaden Rashada of Florida apparently he decided not to go there because apparently
they reneged on the payments or something.
That's what he said. They said that was never even the case. He ended up at
Georgia.
Let me read it to you. I'll read it. It's Wikipedia.
Oh! He went somewhere before Georgia. Okay.
Oh yeah, he was at Arizona State.
Oh wow.
So you should hear this saga. Rashada initially committed to play football at Miami over offers from LSU, Florida, Mississippi, and Texas A&M. It was reported that Rashada received name, image, and likeness offer of $9.5 million after his commitment to Miami. He later denied that any deal had been offered to him. He later flipped his commitment to Florida.
Oh, they all lie, yeah.
So, wow. He later flipped his commitment to Florida. Shortly before he was set to enroll for Florida's spring semester, Rashada requested a release from the NIL, NLI, National Letter of Intent. It was later reported that $13.85 million NIL deal with the Gator Collective, an athletic booster that affiliate, had fallen through. Rashada ultimately enrolled in Arizona State, where his father had played, on May 21st,
Oh,
20.
I remember this story. I
Yes,
remember the story. Okay, yeah.
on
This
May
was the
21st, 2024. It was
yes.
announced that Rashada was suing Florida coach Billy Napier.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So Rashada then joined Arizona State.
And now
And
he's left. He's
he
leaving.
was named the Arizona State's starting quarterback prior to the team season opener against Southern Utah. Passed for
Correct.
236 yards and 2 touchdowns in his debut. But he only played in 2 more games after that. I don't know why.
And
Maybe
then he bounced.
Then he went to Georgia in
During
2024.
the same season?
The very next spring.
Oh, the next spring. Okay.
It was
Gotcha.
reported on January 5th, 2025, he was entering the transfer portal and leaving Georgia.
So this kid,
He did not play any downs, obviously, at Georgia.
right. I'm sure they redshirted him, correct?
No, he just didn't play.
He just didn't play. Oh, okay. Then I don't want him. I don't like Bellamy and I did our show last night and we were talking about this.
Why
And
are we trying to replace Figano?
because
That's my question.
nobody
He's
likes
very
him.
good.
Nobody likes. He's not very good.
Why? Yeah,
He's
he is
not.
good.
He's more of a game manager. He's sufficient. He can win you games. He's not an elite quarterback. But yes, they are actively trying to replace him. And I think the exact opposite, like
They
you.
went 9-4.
I think they should support him. I think this kid, for all he's been through, transferring from Maine, the injury, he fills
My
in
question is, why don't they like Joe Figano? Did someone give
because,
me an answer
like
to
I
it?
said, because
He
he's
threw
not.
20 touchdowns to like 3 interceptions. Why don't they like him?
He threw 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, but you have to remember 6 of those touchdowns came against Merrimack. You have to remember that
What? That's
he
so what? That's still
he's
that's who we
got
play.
he's got a lower completion percentage. He's limited with what he can do. Now, I think they can win with him. I think they should go with him. I think they
Why
should
is he
stop.
limited?
He's just limited with the throws he can make. He's limited with the
He can
zone
make any
read
throw.
stuff.
He's got a cannon for an arm. Is he
Yeah, but
not?
he's not super accurate.
Okay.
He does have a cannon for an arm. He got a much stronger arm than Evers, I think. But I think the liability in the run game, because they want to run the zone read and they want to run
Why?
that outside zone.
Why do they
That
want to run the zone read is my question. Why?
I agree. But fuckhead, I agree with you. I agree 100%.
I'm not arguing with you per se. I'm just saying why. I don't understand. I don't understand. They won 9 games.
Yes.
They're
And he
playing the
won the
same
majority of them.
schedule.
Yes.
They could win 10 games, maybe 11.
They should. Yeah. 100%. I would like this kid has earned his stripes. And the fact that he's coming back for another year shows his loyalty. And the fact that he's not getting paid a dime shows his loyalty.
Something. He's probably getting
I don't
something.
think he is. Burton had said that they weren't going to pay him. And I believe that. I don't think they're paying him. I really don't.
So they figure with Jaden Rashada, who's really a FBS kid, an F.
Christie's right.
A group of 4 kid, top level athlete, that they could probably just run the table, bringing him in.
Chris D is right. Chris said they don't like Joe because Jared paid Evers, and that's true.
What is that?
I know,
but they're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay Rashada if they bring Rashada.
If they bring him in, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna break the bank. I wouldn't bring him in.
Or that means they're gonna get rid of Evers.
They wouldn't. They can't get rid of him. They just. I mean, I don't know what his NIL deal is, how much he's getting paid, but there are provisions now schools are putting in the contract to protect themselves. Like there's playing time, if you don't start, if you don't put up certain numbers, your NIL money you can be forced to pay it back in some of the contracts they're putting out there now.
Jaden Rashada reportedly has been in contact with Western Kentucky, UConn, and Tulane.
For a kid of that caliber, that's shocking that he was being recruited by SEC schools. The Florida thing, I totally remember that. They said that Florida reneged on the payments and he transfers to Arizona State. And he stays at Arizona State all of 2024, and then he leaves
2023. He played at Arizona State. 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Georgia and sits the bench. That's why I'm like, why bother with this kid? You can win with Joe. If they just took the mentality that this is who we have, let's build the offense around what he does well. Okay. He's not a guy you can put in the shotgun, run outside zone, and run zone read.
They want to run that offense hell or high water.
The fucking Ozempic guy, offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, he's dead set on running it.
Ozempic?
Yeah. I make fun of him because I said he needs to be on Ozempic because he's slightly heavy like we are. But yeah, show the guns. But if all they did, if they went under center and, ran some gap schemes, ran some power, ran some counter, I think they'd have success with him. And then he does a great job with play action, hardball play action. If they want to go out of the gun, then they would really have to utilize the nakeds. They would have to run quite a bit of nakeds to hold the backside end, because Joe is not a threat to run. When he pulls the ball down to run, I cringe because he's slower than whale shit. But so it said that
is whale shit slow?
Whale shit is slow. Yes.
Why is that?
You know what, Dave? I haven't gone scuba diving enough to watch it in the water and how it comes out of the whale's ass to know how slow it is. But maybe we can take a trip and do that. We'll find out. Nick Evers really struggled, I guess.
It's waxy round mass that develops over time, taking years to fully harden and mature.
He was under pressure a lot.
The slow process involves substance initially strong odor being exposed to seawater, undergoing a transformation.
Okay, so
makes it fragrant and desirable for perfumes. Oh, it's desirable for
that's good. This segment is brought to you by whale shit. He looked it up. That was good. But yeah, Evers did not look good. He struggled. He was under pressure a lot, and he couldn't get into a rhythm. They said that they started Kassan Fassar in place of Cole Welliver, who got a lot of reps last weekend. Farrar is very fast, so it'll be interesting to watch him develop. He's the guy from Virginia. He was the Virginia Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Fagano to Shamar Porter pipeline is still strong, making several grabs, including a big 30-yard pass down the sideline placed right where Porter needed it. So it looks like Fagano is getting better with his accuracy. Porter didn't play much last year, so it'd be good to see him come along. And it also says Zach Droughty looked good at wide receiver, a common refrain during the spring. So Zach has had a good spring. We'll see if it translates to playing time in the fall. They said the D-line was swarming, especially the rotation of Ben Smiley, Vincent Carroll Jackson, Donovan Branch, and Trent Jones. Right. The secondary has a lot of newcomers getting reps. Kobe Albert, a name I'm not going to bother trying to say, and Tyrese Mills. Albert had a nice pass breakup and an even nicer one-handed grab by Jet Jones, which is Trent Jones, I'm assuming. The Huskies have 2 more practices left. They're practicing today, and the final practice is the 16th on Wednesday. Coincidentally, the same day the portal opens. And whoever this reporter is, I still want to punch him in the nuts. I've heard that the Huskies will be looking to take about 6 to 7 new guys in the period, mainly at wide receiver and DB. If a reasonably priced offensive lineman presents themselves, they'll take a shot. So stay tuned for portal updates. And Al Bundy is not with us, but Chris D. Yes, Chris D. So Mora is going to have a press conference finally on Wednesday. So you will get to hear from him Wednesday. I trust Mike Burton too. I trust Mike Burton with my life. I think Mike Burton and Jared may have been enamored with Evers early on, and it just didn't translate to the field, unfortunately. And I still think Evers has shown flashes, which makes them believe that he could be the guy. And if
they wouldn't be pursuing Jaden Rashada if they did.
I agree 100%. I agree. But Burton has played everything close to the vest. He hasn't mentioned anything to me about that. So until he does, I would take it seriously. Because if he's not telling me, then it's probably true because he doesn't want me saying anything. But Dave, I wouldn't take him. Like, would you take him? Like, for the money he wants?
Who you talking about, Jaden Rashada?
Like, would you pay him $2 million? I mean, I just
no.
It's the same thing. Did you see the situation with the quarterback from Tennessee?
Yeah, Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah, that kid. So this motherfucker, he's getting paid during high school. They started paying him while he was in high school. And allegedly, with that combined with what he's been paid in college, he's been getting around $8 million. So it was 2 days before the spring game. Now he just stopped showing up. He doesn't show up for meetings, doesn't show up for practice, doesn't show up for the spring game. And, he announces that he's going into the portal. And there were so many people that commented, even the group of 5 schools are like, I wouldn't pay that much for him. I wouldn't pay that much for him, because he wants like $6 million guaranteed or $8 million guaranteed. And he's not worth it. He was an average quarterback at Tennessee. They had the 9th ranked offense in the SEC. And, and the SEC has a rule too. If you enter the transfer portal in the SEC, you can't go to an SEC school.
So wait. So if you enter the transfer, say that again.
If you're at an SEC school like Nico is, and you go into the transfer portal, you are not allowed to transfer to another SEC school. They put that rule into place. So his options are going to be limited to maybe the group of 5 or, ACC, Big 12, something like that. And if you look at his numbers weren't like spectacular. I'm trying to find his numbers. But he threw for like 200 yards a game. And yeah, here it is. He threw for like 200 yards a game. And all right, here it is. Nico in Tennessee's NIL breaking. This is funny. Nico in Tennessee's NIL breakup is college football's tipping point. Basically, it's saying that the inevitable has arrived. The lawless, structureless, complicated universe of college football in the NIL era has produced its first and certainly not last high-profile breakup. Perhaps the only surprise is that it took this long for the turmoil to arise. Now we can only hope actual change is coming. For Tennessee, the turmoil is come and gone. They're starting quarterback and one of their top recruits that the program's ever produced is gone, just like that. And the details surrounding the breakup vary depending on the source, which surrounds messy separations. Regardless how we arrived here, the Vols made news official Saturday as a spring game loomed. They thanked him for everything, and we're moving forward without him. And now Tennessee only has 2 scholarship quarterbacks on their roster. They have one, and they have a true freshman coming in. So the rumors of missed meetings, unfulfilled NIL obligations, and other dirt that often materializes in these situations surfaced since the news went public. Make no mistake about this, however, the decision comes down to money, and leverage. He was scheduled to make $2.4 million this season, and his representation was looking for more. He threw for, this is what I'm saying. He threw for 2,600 yards and accounted for 22 touchdowns. And so, I mean, like, he wasn't tearing it up to warrant that kind of money. Like 12 game seasons, like 2,600 yards. Like, that's nothing special. Quarterbacks throw for 3,000 yards. You're muted.
That's why they let him walk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not going to pay you $4 million for 20 touchdowns and 2,600 yards passing. I don't care. If you want that kind of money, you better be Shedeur Sanders. You better be Cam Ward. I don't know who the hell this guy thinks he is. But I think it's ridiculous to do that to Tennessee the day before the spring game, because now they have to go into the transfer portal and they have to get a quarterback. Chris D says they deliberately didn't play Joe last year because they didn't think Joe would be back. Chris D, I agree with you, because Joe was technically a senior. It was his 6th year, and they didn't expect him back, and they wanted to give Evers the reps, and Evers had 3 years of eligibility, so he was the quarterback of the future, and he's got 2 years of eligibility. So it's really a clusterfuck. And until something happens and the NCAA,
I think all teams are like that in some capacity. I don't think UConn's an exception.
No, I don't either. But I mean, Chris Bellamy was talking about last night that, he's happy with the players getting paid because, for 100 years, as long as the NCAA has been around, they've made money off the players' back, billions of dollars. And it's good that they're paying the players. But there has to be some, as Chris said, guidelines, guardrails, and a system in place to prevent shit like this happening. Like Tennessee losing their star quarterback in April, the day of their spring game. What does that do to their fan base? How do you go out and get another quarterback? How do you get another quarterback ready to play for the fall? It's a giant clusterfuck. And Josh Heupel has done a nice job there. He turned Tennessee around.
Yeah.
I know I'm putting you to sleep.
I mean, Tennessee. I think, coach taking a stand like that was a big deal. I think that puts a lot of coaches in a position to say, hey, listen, there's enough is enough. Here's what we have as a guideline. This is what we have to spend. If you want to be a part of our program, this is what you got to do. There's always going to be some programs that'll be willing to pay for some players that'll jump around. We have to, as UConn, figure out what kind of program we want to be, and that's the issue. That is the overall
100%. 100%.
Like, we don't know who we want to. Like, we want to be everything. We want to be.
We're in the middle.
We want to be transfers.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you have to do both, but the question is, do we want to be in the market for a guy that's another quarterback that's on his third school and technically his fifth commitment? That would be.
I'm not weeping for Tennessee, Christy.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, that's the thing. Does that disrupt your culture? Does it even matter because we play shitbirds? Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
so,
we could put you at quarterback.
He might be a better athlete than anybody we have,
but you don't need him.
Well, I'm just saying, like, and maybe this comes down to what is the objective of the program. If the objective of the program is we want to go undefeated, and we don't care what it takes for us to do that, then that's one objective.
And we got to get into a conference.
Then, well, we could win. No, I'm saying we could go if we pay a couple of big players and have a nice overall roster, you can win 10, 11 games. The question is, do we want to be in that mix? Like, do we want to be hunting for a player? He does well. That player's now hunting for another deal somewhere else.
Exactly.
I've heard there's issues. With Evers.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
I'm sure.
I heard the family isn't happy.
I'm sure they're not.
Why
would they be?
Right. He was paid with a certain expectation. See, this is the whole thing. So the whole thing is this. Like, are we in it to put together the best team we can and have a thought process that we're hey Dave, you're back. That's a great line, Christy. Great line.
Christy,
great line.
I hope
one day that line up there. That's a great line.
If I come to a game, Christy, I just want to shake your hand. Christy's the only one who sticks up for me against Jared.
Well, he signed in. So, hey, listen, Benedict signed the contract. The whole thing is, what is this program? Let's look at what are we trying to establish in men's basketball. It's hard to keep your players.
Yeah.
You're going to have a certain amount of turnover.
Yep.
In women's basketball, it's a little easier to keep most of your players.
Nobody leaves Gino.
We're so successful. Some people do, but like we're keeping most of ours.
It's very rare.
In basketball, in football, do we want to be a transfer place? Like where we're just all in on the track? Like, look, Deion, that's what Deion does, right? You could argue it's worked for him. It really depends on what you want to be, because that dictates ultimately who wants to come to your university.
Well, Dave, it doesn't matter if we win 10 games because of the schedule we play. We win 10 games, where does that take us? It doesn't take us close to the playoffs. It may take us into a better bowl game. I mean, we travel well. Because we hadn't been to a bowl game in a while, we treated the Fenway Bowl like, it was the Super Bowl. But with the schedule we play, like you don't need a kid like that at quarterback to win games. Joe Figliano can win you 10 games with that.
Well, they want the sure bet. They figure if a guy like Jaden Rashada comes to them.
I mean, that's huge. I agree.
but it's also a person that's on his third transfer. He's suing one university.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
I mean, is it toxic? I don't know. Georgia took him.
I think it's toxic. Anyone will take anyone because winning cures all. If they think that they can win with you, if they think that you're special, if they think that you're going to make a difference, they're going to take you. They're going to pay you and they're going to take you. But I am big on, which is wrong, I am big on loyalty, working hard, developing, and earning your spot on the roster, earning your spot to start. And that doesn't happen. Basically, you go to a school, and if you don't like the playing time you're getting, if you're not starting, instead of, working out, training harder and morning workouts, staying up over the summer, busting your tail, developing, getting better.
He was Carson Beck's backup, Jaden Rashada.
Yeah. Yep. No, I know.
Why didn't he stay if Carson Beck left?
Exactly. That's what doesn't make sense. And that's why I am leery about taking a kid like him, because he had the keys to the kingdom handed to him. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to go look and, see what Georgia's spring practice was like, see if he participated, see what the reports were like. I don't know exactly when he entered, because it said the portal opens in a few days. So I don't know when he necessarily announced that. Yeah. So the portal opens on the 16th. So I don't know when he announced that he was leaving. I don't know if he had any
portal for a while.
So he let them know. Yeah, I know Yates left for UNC after he left the portal. Then we played UNC and he re-entered the portal and went there. I know. I saw that about Bryce Yates. I know. I agree, Chris D. There is no loyalty, and that's what bothers me most of all. We played for the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. We played for the school, and now, I'm all about. I'm not upset with the kids getting paid. I'm upset with the transfer portal more than anything. I think they have to put guidelines on that. And even Chris Bellamy had said that, transfer once, transfer twice. Maybe that's it. Transfer.
Lady, I love you.
And that's it.
Twice.
Three times later. And I love you.
I think who is that? That's what's
Kenny Rogers. Isn't it Kenny Rogers?
Is that who it is?
You're once, twice, three times later. And I love you. Yeah.
We might be a good duet.
Oh, I think so. I sing like an angel.
I can sing.
I'm gonna sing with the band Friday night with the DJ.
You are?
I'm gonna bring my own karaoke CD and tear down
Commodores, my man, the Commodores.
Oh, I do a great
I
Lionel.
thought it might be what's his name?
I do Lionel Richie. I do a great
Lionel Richie. Great voice.
Yeah, I do a great Lionel Richie. I tear the house down with all night long. I do all night long. I'll have the place rocking.
All night long. All night.
Do you know that this is the first time I have ever I've spoken, done a lot of public speaking. I consider myself a fabulous public speaker. And this is the first time I'm actually nervous about public speaking. speaking at Razul's event.
Well, why are you nervous?
I'm nervous because
Because of your situation.
it's a subject. Yeah, it's a subject that I haven't talked a lot about, and there's things that I'll mention that people have never heard before, and I'm concerned about the reaction I'm going to get. Chris D wants to know, do you guys feel the Big East energy? Yes, Chris D, we feel the Big East energy.
Well, he's talking
Mark
about
Donato.
Mark Zanotto, yeah.
Listen, Mark, give him credit. He got kicked to the curb. He went right back to work. He didn't miss a beat.
He didn't. Good for him.
He used his platform, and he went right back at it. He didn't, cry and whine and all that stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. It seems like they've had a good spring practice. It seems like Joe Figiano is the guy. Evers has struggled. They don't know who's going to be the number 3, whether it's Welliver or the Virginia kid. Not that it matters, but I really hope that they don't spend the money on the Georgia kid. I don't think it's worth it. I think, if they want to add a receiver, the secondary's gotten shaken up, maybe a lineman, go there. That's where I think it's most necessary. I don't think that they need to throw more money. They're already paying Evers. Figiano's not getting a cent. I'm sure the Virginia quarterback's getting money. And I don't we don't have the finances to throw millions of dollars at a kid like that. And a kid that you can't trust him. Even though he's got 3 years of eligibility, he's another one. You spend that money, he's one and done.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he'd be one and done necessarily. It would depend on.
Well, I'm sure with the numbers he had, I'm sure he would tear it up against the competition that we play. He would absolutely tear it up. But again, it comes down to the finances. How much is it going to cost to get him?
Well, yeah. Well, there's a lot of issues there at Georgia with him, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know Mike Burton has the cash. Mike Burton has the cash. Mike Burton has done everything possible. But Chris D, my point is, whether we could go 10-0, 12-0, whatever, we're not going to go to the playoffs. It's not going to make a difference. I still think we can win 10 games with Joe Figiano. And
maybe they think, well, let's play devil's advocate. Maybe they think if they go 12-0, they do get in the playoff.
There's no way. The strength of schedule. There's no way. There's no way they'd get in the playoffs. Look at that schedule. That schedule's abysmal. Syracuse is okay. Duke is okay. Ball State, Florida Atlantic. You're playing 2 FCS schools, Central Connecticut and Delaware. If you beat up on those teams, that's not going to have. I agree with you, Chris D. They need a plan to increase attendance this year. And our friend Joe D said that attendance is never going to go up unless we bring in a solid home opponent, a big name school,
right?
That people will come out and see. Syracuse and Duke are the only, and Syracuse is at Syracuse. Duke is the only home game, and Duke's mid-level hey Cully, I see wins. No, I agree. We're gonna win. We're going to win 100%. I believe in that. I believe the over under for us is 8 wins. If we don't win 8 games, it's a clusterfuck. It's a disappointment. I agree with that. But in my opinion, unless Uncle Eddie dies and leaves $10 million to UConn so they can pay for a quarterback like the one from Georgia or Tennessee. I don't think it's worth spending that money on one kid. I think Joe can win you games. I think they have enough around him. With the schedule we have, we can win 8 to 10 games.
There's no doubt we're going to win that.
That's my thing. But the issue is getting into a conference, because being in the Big East is going to catch up to us in basketball. We're going to bump an AC team from the Pinstripe Bowl. I would love that. I've been to the Pinstripe Bowl. Pinstripe Bowl's great. I went to a Pinstripe Bowl, and I coached when I was at Holy Cross. We played Fordham at Yankee Stadium and got absolutely annihilated. I have bad memories from the locker room. I sat in CC Sabathia's locker at the time.
You were at Fordham?
I was at Holy Cross. We played Fordham there.
Yeah. Who was the coach at Fordham at the time?
Fuck, I don't remember. It was a young guy. He replaced Joe Moorhead. Moorhead was the head coach. He had just left for Mississippi State, I believe. It was a younger head coach. And John Hooley was the DC. Hooley I played with. So, but we gotta get going. We gotta call Billy the liquor guy, talk with him.
Sounds good.
And see what he wants to do, because he's
Great,
really excited.
Great pod. A lot of people on the pod.
It was. You know why? Because I am entertaining. I am pure entertainment. We provide entertainment value.
We should change it to
don't say the ASMR.
UConn ASMR.
You're a fucking asshole. You know that.
Because then people they can come listen to us. They can relax, go to sleep.
Yes.
If
you go to sleep.
I'm going to change the title next time to UConn ASMR.
Yes, starring Steve Cully. Yes,
starring and see if we get more viewers. Maybe we'll get more viewers. So
we will.
We could probably talk like this. We could be like, so UConn football this week.
Yeah, Joe Figiano, boy, man, he's got a cannon for an arm on him. Wow, I just love watching him in the pocket. He's got such a pocket presence.
The soothing sounds of Steve Cully.
Yes. It was a wonderful practice. This spring practice wraps up. Cully banned from Store Central. Thank you, Christy, for reminding me again. Cully, Store Central.
Cully.
It comes up rejected. Christy, is Jared specifically, like I've tried several other emails and I still get rejected. So I'm wondering if it's like my IP address that he's got and he's just banned my IP address. And that's why I keep getting rejected. I'm going to have to go somewhere else and try to look on the Store Central. Now, I can get on the Store Central, but I can't get on the Boneyard, any of the message boards. I'm banned from all that because they know I'm going to post a podcast on there probably. So that's good to hear.
Of Steve Cully.
Yes, who is banned from
next coming to the stage, Amanda.
Yes. And yes, I am rejected from the Boneyard. The Boneyard will not.
Jared
blocked me on Twitter.
Did he really?
I love you, Christy. Christy, if I get to meet you, I'm going to come up to a game next year, and if I will let you kick me in the nuts as hard as you want, and then I just want to give you a hug afterwards because you support our show.
That's strange.
And yes, and I love it. So right. Yeah, we got fun tonight. We're gonna do if it's okay with you, Dave. Are you 8:30? You're good with 8:30 or I didn't know if you would if you would be back by 8 or not.
Yeah, 8:30 should be good.
Okay. Erica is coming on. We're gonna do Rebel first because she can't stay up. So we'll do Rebel first. So she wants to claw your eyes out. So that'll be fun.
Not gonna happen.
I know.
I've already read her posts. I'm on top of it.
I called out Jared for gaslighting when he went on Twitter and said that the Memphis loss in Maui was awesome. And I was like, no, it wasn't. Then he blocked me. A Coach Schuman disciple. I'm a Coach Rebel fucking Republic.
That's right, baby.
You're a semi-Cully disciple. I know that I'm an idiot. I read what people say about me on the bone. That I'm good for
I don't think they say anything anymore.
No, they don't care anymore. But yeah, so we'll see everyone tonight. We're gonna have a fabulous Rebel Republic. We got good guests. And it's going to be wonderful. And this has been a Banner Husky Huddle. We had a nice little debate about the future of our program, and we got a spring practice report. We've had 3 out of the 15 practices. So thank you, Store Central. I'm glad that I spent my money paying for it. I'm the only idiot that pays for it, but that's what I do. So for Chris D, we appreciate all your support and your comments and your insights, and you help us with topics and discussions. I love it, and I hope I get a chance to meet you one day. And the coach himself, David Schuman. I'm Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at life.